So this is a piece of epoxy I poured last week. I did a quick little carving in cottonwood bark back there. I did this two pours, and I'm not too happy with the way it turned out. You can see here, I do have a pressure pot. I didn't put it in my pressure pot when I was curing because I was lazy. And you can see all the little micro bubbles in there. Also, I did it in two pours. You can see right down right down this line here. That would be the first pour, and I should have put it in the pressure pot too because it's kind of milky, and those are bubbles too. You can see them, that line right there. So this is almost like, should I carve it? There you can see the pour line right here. That's two different pours, two different epoxies too. This is the deep pour epoxy, but I was just being lazy. I didn't put it in my pressure pot. Like I said, that's cottonwood bark there. I carved that first, then did the first pour over that, then I did the second pour. So kind of looking at this, it's like, what do I carve on top of it? There's lots of carving. I think I'm just going to kind of, well, I don't know. Do you want it to sit like this? Do you want it to sit like this? Do you want to sit like this? I do know that I'm going to have to carve into the wood where you see that line there, and I'm going to have to carve all this away so you're going to see the color of the wood, like it's the actual bark itself. But I think I'm just going to, this is not how-to video. This is kind of just showing you guys what I'm going to use. I'm going to be using my 1/4-inch handpiece. I'm going to be using my Fordham. And I'm going to be using my Dremel. I'm going to be using my micromotor. I got the aluminum cutting burr on here right now. When you carve this epoxy, it's white. Here's some little dust things right now from the carving it. These little things, like little worms. This stuff's toxic. I believe it is. And I'm wearing long sleeves. Now, I'm not going to wear gloves, and definitely wear a dust mask. So I'm thinking about taking this edge down, and kind of doing a face in it. But I don't know how well the face would look. I'm thinking about, even doing a koi fish in here. I think I'm gonna do the koi fish. I'm gonna draw it on, and or I could do a face on this side, and then another face on this side. Maybe I'll do that. Koi fish is too much. If I was gonna do a koi fish, I'd want to do lots of detail work, lots of sanding and stuff to get the color back. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I could do, but maybe I'll just do a face here, and then do some stuff in the middle. Just not sure. I don't know if this video is going to be useful for any of you yet. Hi, Liz. So I started drawing the koi fish on. You can't even see it though, but there it is. It would be right here. And I says, you know what? Since I'm not too 100% sure how this is going to look when I'm finished, I'm just going to carve a face up here, face down there, and we'll do some fillers, maybe some ghost skulls in here, and just have fun carving. Because the more you carve things, like you're going to try different carving. You're going to try carving different types of wood. Well, just pretend this is a different type of wood, and I don't have that much experience carving it. I've carved quite a bit, but I just know it's a mess. Anyways, face. Might put one in the middle, and just a bunch of. I'll say one thing right now. This epoxy it's like static stuff, so it sticks to everywhere, and it's even sticking to the lens on the camera. So I don't think I'll be filming too much carving, but you can see there, like that's a good 45 minutes carving. I just blocked out some faces, nose. I just kind of put them all at different spots, different waves and stuff like that. But you can see there, really, that's not that deep of a carving. I'm going to leave this bottom flat just because it can sit like this. I did get the wood to be exposed on the sides. So when you're doing something like this with faces, I say on lots of my videos, you know, once you get this top eyebrow to come out and this nose to pop off and you carve all that wood around there, then you can carve any really type of face you want, really. You can see here how I got the nose sticking farthest off the face on most of the ones. So you carve the nose out, take this wood around here, then you just carve the eyebrows back, right? Because that was normally like that. See that? See this one here? Just carve the eyebrows farther back, and then the nose can come off. It doesn't need to stick farthest off the face. So now it's kind of like connected dots for me. I'm still gonna do these. Like these might be like wood spirits. Give them beards. I don't want to spend too much time on this piece. Anyways, connect the dots. Does any of this make sense to any of you? Don't worry, it doesn't make sense to me either. I don't have my microphone plugged in, but will say one thing. I'm going to carve way deeper inside here and give this piece some crazy movement. So it's like, I don't know. And I'm still going to be using this aluminum cutter. This aluminum cutter or the metalworking bits that you get on Amazon, you get like 10 of them, sets of 10 for like $10, $20. These are the best for cutting the epoxy. They cut the smoothest. The Kutzall bits, you can use these too, but these leave lots of marks. So when you want to get down to sanding and stuff like that, these are the best to use. Deep, deep, deep. We're going to go super deep, so go super deep. Here I thought I'd use the cheap Chinese 3-point cutter. The mind of a madman. The mind of a madman. So I just didn't want this piece to look square up here like it would like that. So I just carved their heads away, kind of carved it, made it look rotten in here. I'm still not done this piece. I need to do a lot more carving. It's just getting late in the day. I'll carry on this video. But so you got wood spirit here, well, spirit here, spirit here, spirit here, spirit here. I just chose spirit faces because they're the easiest to carve. There you can see the wood coming through. I'm not going to give this the water test yet because I don't want that wood to get wet. But if you look inside here, like from this face, this guy looks like he's Chinese, Japanese warrior guy. But from this face, see this face here, to this face, I carved really deep in between them. And you can see like this, like I said, see that? I don't know if you can see how it goes inside there, right where my thumb is below there. So I think what I'm going to do just, this just helps me open my mind doing stuff like this, right? This might not turn out. I don't really give two poops. But if you can see that inside there, how it comes down with the deep carving, I think it would be good to do an epoxy pour and just carve a wood spirit on one side and then turn it around so that's the wood spirit will be faced this way. Don't clean it up too much and you look at the piece this way and hopefully the wood spirit will be facing that way, but hopefully it can look this way. Or maybe I could even carve a wood spirit or a face inside the epoxy. Do a little bit spit test. So anyways, I'm going to be back at this tomorrow. We'll sand it up, see if we're going to carve eyes in these things. I don't know if they need them, but it's just practice. The more you guys practice with wood or whatever you want to do your art, the better you're going to get. All right, so we'll be back at it tomorrow. So this is a micromotor. It's a Ram iCube. It spins at 30, I think it's 40,000 RPMs. This, and this is the metalworking burr there, this definitely cuts 100% the best through this. It leaves less marks. It cuts the best. It cuts the deepest. The Kutzall burs, they work good, but they just leave so much marks. This is that, I showed this. This is that cheap metalworking burr. I was cutting deep with it. No, sorry, this is just a cheap Chinese cutting burr. See, it's got 3 points. I was just cutting the deep lines with it. You can't really carve too well with these. They're good for stops and starts if you're a knife carver, if you know what that means. And the aluminum working burr works awesome too. So, but my favorite is definitely the metal working burr with micro carver, RAM iCube. Anyways, see you tomorrow. Same video. All right, so I did some carving offline. Any white spots you see in there, that's just ashes or some dust or something. But this is what I did. I hollowed out the eyes on all of them. This one I went really deep. I cut really deep on the side there. Another thing that I like too, which I'm going to be doing in more carvings in the future, is I undercut right here. So you can see how white it is. Just carve Rob says it looks like they're icemen. So the deep cut under there, and then you get that clear looking color. Yeah, so I showed you guys what burrs work the best, what the micro carver with metalworking burr works the best. Also, another thing too, like if you look inside here, I don't know if you can see, but you see where I cut it on the inside. Let's see if we can get you some better lighting. See inside there where it goes deep, where I cut it deep, where it's almost touching the wood, right about below my thumb. I'm gonna do some carvings in the future with this epoxy stuff and try and do like a face that looks like it's inside the epoxy. So it was fun to do. It was challenging. You know, I wish I didn't pour that much epoxy on it because I wasn't able to get the real color of the wood, but it's okay. I'm not going to carve any deeper. You can see how much room's left there in there to carve. But the good thing about carving this stuff is consistent. You don't have to worry about cracks or wood grain. You just got to make sure you pour it right so you don't get the big bubbles. You know, I'm not really bothered by these small bubbles. I did go along with my sanding mandrel. So here's Scotch-Brite on here. This Scotch-Brite's toast, but here's the sanding mandrels that you get on Amazon. And this is the Scotch-Brite. This is the 3M that I use. I buy it by the box. If anybody knows any better type of Scotch-Brite that might last longer than this 3M, I'd love to hear below. Like if you have proof that it lasts longer than 3M, not just thinking that it does. Like you've tried the 3M, then you've tried the better stuff. Please. For all those epoxy pros, yeah, I have this stuff to even try and buff it out even better. This is like a polishing compound, heavy scratch remover. I did try it on this before I recarved it, and it didn't really work that well for me. So, you know, keep your comments to yourself. I got these buffing pads for your Dremel. I got all these types of buffing pads for your Dremel. I got these types of buffing pads for your Dremel. So you can see here that I've used one right there, the missing one, the lucky one. And it's sanded off good for me. There's too much grooves and nooks and crannies in here for me to try and sand it perfect. And I don't want it sanded perfect anyways, because if I sand it perfect, you will see those bubbles in there. So like polishing it. So what I'm going to do with this on another date is I'm going to epoxy pour over top of this, and I'll show it on another video. I got another project planned, but let's just give this a water test. So it'll be the same kind of thing as epoxy. Now I got to make sure this is super dry before I do the epoxy pour over it. So there you can see like where I did the undercuts in there. They're all like ice creatures. Now you can see in here better. Let's see if we can give you a good shot at this. No, not really. But you can see that deep cut inside there and see all those bubbles. So the next one, if I do one like this clear, I'll put it in my pressure pot. I got that degasser thing from Beaver 2 and a pressure pot. I haven't even used it yet. But I think that's good enough. And just some tips how to carve resin. Epoxy. It's not cheap to pour. But there will be some more videos coming up on this just as I experiment. And I think just like anything you do, from the very beginner artist to the very pro artist, the more that you do, the better you'll get. Carve Fusion, over and out. Gotta carve some keychains now. Keychains! Sorry, I don't have my microphone plugged in, but one kind of buffing pound that works good for this stuff, I've done it before, is diamond compound. You get it on all different sorts of grits. Yeah, so it's like a paste with little tiny diamond bits in it. Anyways, been there, done that. Aceman. So I don't have my microphone hooked up right now, and sorry, but this is a piece of cottonwood bark. I carved it, I burnt it inside, and then I buffed it out with Scotch-Brite. So what I'm going to do now is wipe on a clear coat of epoxy to seal it. I just wanted you guys to see it before I even put the epoxy in it, but this is going to be a big project, and there, that's what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to pour, when I carve it's going to be green epoxy in here, like kind of forest green or something. See, I just hit it with the heat gun, so that will seal it, so the bubbles won't come out of the wood when I put the deeper pour epoxy in there. Well, this isn't wood, it's bark, but it still has air bubbles in it. And I also epoxied that one too. And a mushroom and a lighter case. So it's a few days later, well actually 3 days to be exactly correct. I put an epoxy finish over this and just let it drip off. You can see there's a drip of epoxy, but it's clear. So you see the bubbles in there. Not a big deal though. But these guys are cool. It looks really cool when you put it up against a window. Let's see. Let's put it up against a window. So yeah, the way to go with this epoxy stuff is give it a epoxy finish for sure. They're like ice spirits. Just Carve Rob called them. Anyways, oh, I gotta sign it. Sign your pieces. Sign your pieces. It's hard to see the faces in there, but sometimes that's what art's about, is like you really have to look to see something, right? Sometimes basic is less, and I don't know, whatever. Okay, bye.